Okay, well, thank you folks for having me. I'm a UI graduate. It's kind of interesting. I fit in these seats better 25 years ago than I do right now. I was thinking about right before I came to the University of Iowa, you talk about technology. I grew up on a farm about 30 miles from here, and I think I was a sophomore when we got off the party line phone. So if you know how that works, you pick up the phone and a neighbor would be on it. You'd have to ask them to hang up. So we really have come a long ways. I'm not sure if I'm even the best person to talk about this. When Professor Gordon invited me, I don't consider myself particularly tech savvy, but I am opinionated, and I like the idea of kind of sharing my opinions, and so I saw a vehicle for that with a weekly newsletter that I send out. It's really just an email that I send to anybody who wants to get it. I think right now I'm up to about 350 people in Johnson County who subscribe to it. Some are friends, some are enemies, most are somewhere in between. And really what I try to do is talk about things of relevance to Johnson County, but I go off in different directions too. I'll talk about national issues or even personal issues. I'll wish my kid a happy birthday, that sort of thing. So I guess early on I realized that there really weren't any rules, and I could pretty much do anything I wanted. And so I've tried to keep informing people about things that are going on locally, certainly from my perspective, but at the same time I write what I feel like writing. I do have a website, and this is it, and I do tweet. I'm not sure how effective that's been. I think I have about 40 followers, and I've tried to keep my tweets to things that are relevant to my work. I don't do a whole lot of personal stuff there. I have a Facebook page, but I consider that a little more personal. I don't use it a whole lot. I basically kind of reconnect with old college and high school friends and that sort of thing. Probably do the same things that you all do. But I don't post a whole lot of stuff on there. And when I do, it's more personal rather than work related. Sullivan Salvos is the weekly thing that I send out. I don't know if anybody knows what salvos are, but it's sort of like the first shot fired over the bow. When I was looking for a sort of a catchy name for this, I wrote. Just kind of asked the people who had subscribed and said, do you have any ideas? And somebody came up with that name, and the next week somebody else said, well, I don't like that because it has this warring kind of connotation, and I don't think you should have that. And then the next week I wrote something that basically really pissed off half the people that were on there, and they said, well, maybe that actually is a good name. So I've kept it since, and I don't know, that's really about it for me. I think the thing that's been interesting for me is the fact that I have kind of discovered that there aren't really any rules. I've had to kind of learn as I went along. One of the first things that I realized I had to do was put a little bit of a disclaimer at the end of every one that says, these are my opinions. I'm one of 5 people that serves on board of supervisors, and I had to make it pretty clear fairly early that they were my opinions and not the opinions of the whole board. So I did that right away. I just put contact information so that people could contact me other ways through phone or direct email or what have you. And I'm kind of still learning the rules as I go. I've done corrections of things. If somebody has pointed out to me that I got something wrong, not that we basically arguing about whether it's right or wrong, but just factually incorrect, I'll try to correct it. But again, it's kind of uncharted territory. I don't necessarily know what rules I'm supposed to be following. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. One other thing that I'll mention before I sit down, because I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I have felt a little bit of a need to do this kind of thing, in part because I think the local media is not doing a very good job. And, we have an $80 million budget in Johnson County, and we might get a reporter at a meeting, 1 out of every 3 times. And that's just not adequate. I mean, you guys need to know, people who live here need to know what we're doing and how we're spending money and all that sort of thing. And frankly, nobody knows. And even when they do go, they leave early and they don't, many times they, in my opinion, really bury the lead. So I felt like it was important to have another way to get the information out. And I figure that even if somebody disagrees with me, at least they can start to look into it. They can talk to my other 4 colleagues, and they can figure out for themselves whether it's right or wrong. But at least it's something, because we just don't have the media coverage that there was even like 10 years ago. So unfortunately, I think that's a reason that people have to do this sort of thing.